Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Alexey, and today I would like to talk to you about a really awesome book for sound engineers, which is called Home Studio Recording. And the book is written by Warren Huart and Jerry Hammack. Warren Huart is a British musician, producer, engineer, and mixer based in the USA. He is best known for his work on chart-topping platinum-selling albums by The Fray, Aerosmith, James Blunt, Korn, and many more. Also, he's a founder of Produce Like a Pro YouTube channel and Produce Like a Pro Academy. And Jerry Hammack is a Canadian-American producer, mixer, recording artist, and author of the critically acclaimed best-selling series The Beatles Recording Reference Manual. Before I start talking about the book, I want to say huge thanks and huge shout out to Kenneth Hume, who helped me to buy this book, and thanks to his huge help, this book was delivered to me, to Russia, despite on sanctions. Thank you so much, Kenneth, for your wonderful help. Please don't forget to check out Kenneth Hume Instagram page, the link will be in the info box of this video, and please don't forget to follow him, because he's a wonderful guy, and he did a really huge thing by helping me to buy this wonderful book. So, once again, thank you so much, Kenneth, for your wonderful help. Now, let's talk about Home Studio Recording Book by Warren Huart and Jerry Hammack. And what is so wonderful about this book and why should you buy this book? First of all, this book can be useful for home studio recording sound engineers and for professional studio recording sound engineers, because this book covers everything. If you are at the beginning of your music career and if you want to create your own home studio and you don't know what you should start with, so in this case, this book will help you to create your home studio. Because creating your home studio is not an easy thing. First of all, you should treat your room acoustically in the right way, and if you don't know how to treat your room, what you should buy to treat your room to create a unique environment for home studio recording, for home studio mixing, and for home studio mastering, you can find the answers in this book. Because this book will explain to you how to work with rooms. Because we all have different rooms, and our rooms should be treated in a different way. So we can record, mix, and master in our rooms without any issues. After treating your home studio acoustically, you should buy some gear. So in this case, you should buy some monitors, you should buy some headphones, and you should buy some audio interface. And again, if you are at the very beginning of your music career and if you don't know what to buy, so you can find some answers in this book. Because in this book, Warren Huart and Jerry Hammack created a list of gear you should maybe not buy, but you should pay attention to. So in this case, you shouldn't follow blindly everything what is written in the book, but in this case, by creating a certain list of gear you should buy for your home studio, or you should be familiar with before buying for your home studio, you will have a total freedom of choosing what gear you should buy, what gear will be best for you to buy for your home studio. Because in this case it doesn't work this way that you should buy a specific mic just because Warren Huart uses this mic for tracking down vocals, guitars, bass at his studio. And that's why you should buy the same mic. So for instance, when it comes to mics, when it comes to what mic you should buy for your home studio, or what mic you should buy for your real studio, Warren Huart and Jerry Hammack will give you a list of different mics. And they will give you their explanation on different models of different mics and why these mics are different, in general. And in this case, by reading their explanation and by reading their real examples, how they are using these mics at their studios, you will understand what mic model should you buy for your home or for your real studio, and why you should buy this specific mic. The same goes about monitors, headphones, interfaces, and so on. Also, from reading of this book, you will understand what digital audio workstation you should use for your home studio or for your real studio. Because right now there are a lot of different digital audio workstations such as Pro Tools, Logic, Studio One, Cubase, Ableton, FL Studio, and so on. So in this case, before creating your home studio or before creating your real studio, after treating your room acoustically and after buying some gear for your home studio and for your real studio, you should also pay attention in investing into buying digital audio workstation. And in this case, the book will explain to you what is the difference between Pro Tools, Logic, Studio One, Cubase, and FL Studio. So in this case, by reading explanation again from Warren Huart and Jerry Hammack, you will understand which digital audio workstation will fit your desirable music needs the most. Because again, for instance, if you want to produce pop music or if you want to produce electronic music, maybe you should pay attention to buying Logic or Ableton, because Logic, Pro X, and Ableton are the best DAWs for producing pop and electronic music. Again, if you want to produce hip-hop music, if you want to create your own hip-hop beats, you can pay attention to Logic, Ableton, and FL Studio, because it's much easier to produce pop, electronic, and hip-hop music in this DAWs. If you want to use a DAW for tracking down real instruments at your real studio, so in this case maybe you should pay attention to Pro Tools, Cubase, or Studio One, because Pro Tools and Cubase in this case are mostly used DAWs at professional studios. But honestly saying, there are no any rules when it comes to DAWs, when it comes to buying digital audio workstations. All of them are great and all of them are unique, and it's all about workflow. So in this case, if you like the workflow of Logic, you can use Logic for your home studio and you can use Logic for your real studio for composing, producing, mixing, mastering, and tracking down real instruments at your home studio or at your professional real studio. So in this case, you don't have to buy Pro Tools or you don't have to invest in buying Cubase just because everybody else is using Pro Tools and Cubase at professional studios. It's all up to you and it's all about workflow. If you like the workflow of Pro Tools, use Pro Tools. If you like the workflow of Studio One, use Studio One. If you like the workflow of FL Studio, use FL Studio. Also, thanks to Home Studio Recording Book, you will understand what plugins you should buy and what plugins you should use for producing, mixing, and mastering your music. So, in this case, when it comes to plugins, and again, if you are at the very beginning of your music career, there are a lot of different plugins. And in this case, we can divide all plugins in two sections. So the first section will be plugins for mixing, and the second section will be plugins for mastering. Again, if you don't know how to use any plugins for mixing, and if you don't know how to use any plugins for mastering, you will find all the answers in this very book. Because according to my experience, when I started mixing like a couple of years ago, I didn't know anything about mixing. I didn't know how to use, for instance, stock Logic Pro X plugins. For instance, how to use equalizers, compressors, limiters, expanders, gates, and so on. So in this case, again, if you are at the very beginning of your music career and if you don't know how to use plugins for mixing and for mastering, you should buy this book, because Warren Huart and Jerry Hammack have much more experience in music industry than me, and they know much better how to use plugins for mixing and for mastering in this case. And everything is very well explained in this book with pictures, with real examples. So in this case, again, Warren Huart and Jerry Hammack will explain you in their book how to use, for instance, an equalizer, a plugin, so you will understand how to EQ different instruments like drums, bass, guitars, vocals, and so on. And the same goes about other plugins like compressors, limiters, gates, and so on. Also, from reading this book, you will understand what headphones you should buy for a professional and for your home studio. Because nowadays a lot of people like to mix and to master by using headphones, and in this case again you should understand what headphones you should buy for professional mixing and for professional mastering. And in this book you will find different models of headphones, and again you will find explanation why you should buy this or that model of headphones and how different models of headphones can affect the sound when you are mixing or mastering or when you are recording. Also, this book will explain to you how to do pre-production, recording, mixing and mastering. So in this case, when it comes to working on your song, usually this music process is divided into 3 stages. So the first stage is pre-production. When it comes to pre-production, it means that before working on recording, mixing and mastering of your single, of your song, first of all you should find the right sounds like samples or music libraries you will be working with to create your unique sound for your song, or to find right real instruments you will be using in your song. So again, when it comes to pre-production, first of all we should understand what samples, what libraries, what instruments, real instruments we are going to be using to create a good arrangement for our song. Second stage is recording. And in this case, this book will explain to you how to record real instruments and how to work with virtual instruments. And the final third stage is mixing and mastering. And again, you will find huge chapters in this book on mixing and mastering. So again, you will find tons of useful information from Warren Huart and Jerry Hammack, how to mix and how to master and how to prepare your song or your single for the final release. And at the very end of this book, you will find some information how to use different kinds of audio effects like reverb, chorus, flanger, delay and so on. Also, you will know how to use modulation in your music production and how to use automation in your music production to get the best mixes at the end. So, if I try to summarize everything I just have said in this very video, the main idea is why you should buy this book and how this book will be useful for you. So again, this book will give you tons of useful information how to create your home studio and how to create your real studio in the right way. Because nowadays you can get a lot of information on YouTube and you can get a lot of information on different music forums, but when it comes to people like Warren Huart and people like Jerry Hammack, who have a huge experience of working in music industry, and not just experience of working in music industry, but also working for big musicians like Aerosmith, The Free, Korn, and many more. So I guess you can trust the opinion of Warren Huart and Jerry Hammack. And again, nobody makes you to do anything against your own will. It's all up to you to decide what will be the best for you to buy for your home studio and what will be the best for you to buy for your professional studio, and how should you treat your home studio or professional studio acoustically, and what kind of music gear and music equipment you should buy to work with at your home studio and professional studio. The same goes about plugins, monitors, headphones, interfaces, digital audio workstations, and so on. But again, if you want to save your money and if you want to save your time and if you trust professional opinion of Warren Huart and Jerry Hammack, so this book will help you a lot to create a very good home studio and to create a very good professional studio. But also it will teach you how to record real instruments, virtual instruments, how to mix and how to master, to prepare your music or prepare music of your clients for the final release. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video will be useful for you. If you want to buy home studio recording, the complete guide by Warren Huart and Jerry Hammack, The link will be in the info box of this video. And once again, huge thanks goes to Kenneth Hugh for helping me buying this book. Once again, thank you so much, Kenneth. And once again, please don't forget to check out and please don't forget to follow Kenneth's Instagram page. Again, link will be in the info box of this video. And see you next time.